Kazakhstan has chosen the multi-vector integration. Its trends, collisions and prospects are coming up in the Single Market program.
Здравствуйте, с вами Павел Коктыш.
Hello, my name is Pavel Koktyshev and you're watching Single Market. Time is money. The essence of this expression is best seen in the example of cargo transport. The faster the goods reach their destination, the greater is trade efficiency. Taking into account the importance of this process, the members of the Eurasian Economic Union, Russia, Kazakhstan and Belarus, created a united transport and logistics company. Our correspondent brings us the report on the prospects of this entity.
О перспективах этой структуры в сюжете нашего корреспондента.
The United Transport and Logistics Company was established in 2014. Its founders are the national railway operators of 3 countries, Russia, Belarus and Kazakhstan. In essence, this is a railway alliance with the Eurasian Economic Union, which will regulate the issues of servicing the movement of container trains along the China-Europe-China route. In addition, the list of tasks of the United Transport Logistics Company includes the establishment of competitive land-based routes for the member countries of the Eurasian Economic Union, ensuring access and quality of transport services and effective use of international transport routes. By developing the transport logistics infrastructure of our countries, we're setting the foundation for increasing trade turnover between Kazakhstan and Russia, overall between the countries of the Eurasian continent. The assets of the United Transport Logistics Company include 67 railway terminals, 33,000 wagons, 71,000 ISO containers, 4 railroad ferries, and 870 cargo vehicles.
We
have managed to reach a very high level of cooperation on issues of organization of transport flows. The normative and legislative base of our cooperation has been established and is constantly developing. And our transport companies, together with Kazakhstan's colleagues, are ensuring uninterrupted delivery of cargo in a bilateral format, as well as transit communication.
The
IT platform, which is used as a base for the synchronization of the work of the United Transport and Logistics Company, allows to optimize all the operations connected with the movement of cargo and to introduce new technologies for the organization of export, import and transit cargo shipments. Imagine organized container shipment services, which leaves from the new Horgos terminal with a frequency of 1 train every 1.5 hours. This is a very difficult task, but also very interesting. And the most important is that the solution of this task is in the interest of our countries and people who live in our countries. One of the novel introductions to the system of the United Company is the online store service. By using it, it is possible to calculate online the cost of the specific cargo transport service, make an order, make the payment for the service, and the shipment of containers is organized. At the same time, there is 24/7 access to the services of the company, and there is the possibility of making a payment using a bank card. In addition, with the use of the online store service, it became possible to establish single tariffs on container cargo from Kazakhstan station Altyn-Kol to the Belarusian city of Brest. As a result, cargo trains will be able to cover the distance from the Kazakhstan-China railway transfer point to the exit point of the Eurasian Economic Union on the border of Belarus and Poland in 5.5 days.
Скоростные поезда, которые
High-speed trains which transport containers from China, they fit the logistics system of Belarus very well, because there is a high level of passenger flow along this route, and container trains travel at practically the same speed as passenger trains.
поезда следуют со скоростью практически пассажирских.
Single rules for our 3 member countries have been set up until 2030. By that time, the annual cargo volume within the framework of the United Transport Logistics Corporation, according to market experts, will increase at least 2-fold. And now let us turn from more joyous changes to the realities of the Eurasian Economic Union and focus our attention to the narrower places which exist today in the realm of trade turnover between partners. And at the same time, we will take a look at the export potential of Kazakhstan's regions. Alexander Galiev brings us the details. Today, only the unaware ones would state that trade turnover between the countries of the Eurasian Economic Union does not leave much to be desired. And if we trust the numbers, then it is hard to disagree with this. Let us take a look at the situation from the perspective of Kazakhstan's interests. And so, last year, the volume of mutual trade of the country with the countries of the Eurasian Economic Union, in a monetary equivalent, amounted to $13.6 billion. This is 16.8% less than in 2015. In the import-export correlation, Kazakhstan buys more than it sells. The share of imports is $9.67 billion, of exports, $3.9 billion. It should be noted that last year, Kazakhstan's export volumes to the countries of the Eurasian Economic Union decreased by 23.5%, and import volumes fell by 13.7%.
А импорт на 13,7%. Больше всего Казахстан продает свои товары в Россию.
Most of Kazakhstan's exports are destined for Russia. Their volumes amount to $3.5 billion. In second place is Kyrgyzstan, with $376 million in export volumes. In third position is the market of Belarus, around $32 million.
Белоруссии около $32 миллионов. Среди казахстанских регионов самые...
Among Kazakhstan's regions, the highest share of exports within the Eurasian Economic Union comes from the Karaganda region. Its volume, $723.5 million. Then we have the Kazlorda region, $647 million, the Pavlodar region, $618 million. In fourth place is the city of Almaty, $585 million.
В структуре внешних поставок казахстанских товаров в страны ЕАЭС преобладают минеральные продукты.
The portfolio of Kazakhstan's exported products to the countries of the Eurasian Economic Union is dominated by mineral products, 33.4%, metals and rolled metal products, 25.7%, animal and vegetable produce and food products, 10.8%.
Занимают 10,8%.
And the portfolio of imports to Kazakhstan from the countries of the Eurasian Economic Union mainly includes machines and equipment, 25.8%. Mineral products, 16.8%, chemical industry products, 16.5%. Food imports hold a share of 13.9%, and this figure is something to think about. While having great resources in the agro-industrial sector, Kazakhstan is capable of not just producing enough to satisfy domestic demand, but also of exporting high volumes to external markets.
Казахстан может не только себя прокормить, но и поставлять в больших объемах продовольствие на внешний рынок. Среди импортеров стран ЕС пальма...
Among the importing countries of the Eurasian Economic Union, for Kazakhstan, Russia is the market leader. Last year, goods in the amount of $9.13 billion were exported to Kazakhstan. Belarus exported in the amount of $333 million, and Kyrgyzstan in the amount of more than $200 million. By the way, this is the country with which Kazakhstan has a positive balance of trade. With the other Eurasian Economic Union partners, it is negative. And instead of a summary, 2016 in comparison with 2015, when the Integration Union commenced its work, for Kazakhstan as well as for other partners, turned out to be less productive. A lot of this could be attributed to external factors, which in combination with domestic problems had a negative impact on trade turnover. In the first quarter of this year, the situation is more or less stable. Some experts do not exclude the possibility that the second quarter, due to the collisions on the hydrocarbon market, will not be as smooth. But a remark must be made. Today, Kazakhstan's regions can independently decide on the issues of mutual trade with the countries of the Eurasian Economic Union. And in any case, they must be more active, braver, and more open to partnerships. That's all from me. My name is Alexander Galiev. Until next time on Single Market. Mutual interests. They can be expressed while taking into account the most diverse circumstances and conditions. For example, within the trade and economic cooperation between Iran and Kazakhstan, mutual interests are driven by two key factors: potential and capabilities. That is why recently meetings between the business communities of Iran and Kazakhstan have been taking place with admirable frequency. Iran and Kazakhstan have a lot in common. Both countries are located on the Asian continent, Iran in the western part and Kazakhstan in the central. And both countries play two strategic roles in their respective regions: geopolitical and as transit zones. Another important factor, Iran and Kazakhstan both have access to the Caspian Sea. Therefore, these countries are destined, in a positive sense, to have close trade and economic cooperation. Iran is one of the richer countries of Asia. The country's economy is ranked 18th in the world. According to the results of 2016, Iran's economic growth rate reached 3%. At the same time, experts are forecasting that in 2017, Iran's economy will grow almost twofold. The main factors that will contribute to development are huge reserves of hydrocarbons, the chosen industrial path, and the lifting of sanctions.
Iran is the first in the world about the gas reserves and fourth for producing the oil. Seventh in tourism site And also, we are going to produce right now 1 million cars in our country. We are going to increase it to 3 million in the future.
Today, many countries are expressing greater interest in Iran. The high potential of the country's consumer market also plays an important role. The population of Iran is 80 million people. In addition, the country is located at a transit crossroads. It is surrounded by 7 other countries, and in the north has access to the Caspian Sea, and in the south to 2 gulfs of the Indian Ocean.
میتونیم از طریق مرز عراق به عراق صادر بکنیم. ما با ترکیه مرز ریلی داریم.
We can be not just a strategic partner for Kazakhstan, but can also become its export window to Iraq, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Oman, Turkey, and other countries.
این که تموم کنیم این رابطه حمل و نقلمون رو در شمال ایران، این رابطه رو به جنوب ایران و به بقیه دنیا گسترش بدیم.
What's more, 3 years ago, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, and Iran, through joint efforts, realized a wide-scale infrastructural project, the construction of the railway line Janai-Uzeng-Bereket-Gorgan. The railroad opens up the possibility to realize transport of 10 million tons of cargo. This is very important. This railroad gives Iran access to the markets of Russia and China. We will have access to all the countries of the Persian Gulf. Today, the plans of both countries include realization of another 2 projects, which will help optimize the transport logistics. This is construction of cargo terminals on the territory of Iran. One will be built in the south, in the seaport Bandar Abbas, and another in the north, at the railway station in Cheburun. Taking into account the already existing Kazakhstan's grain terminal in Iran's Amirabad port, overall there will be 3 of these infrastructural projects.
به مسیر درستی داریم میدیم. سرمایه‌گذاری رو خط راهن این چبرون.
Thanks to the transit shipments through Iran, Bandar Abbas and Amirabad ports, as well as by using the railroad which connects Turkmenistan, Iran and Kazakhstan, we're expecting even greater results.
در واقع بر اساس برد وین وین باید.
Today, Iran and Kazakhstan are interested in the creation of a so-called green corridor, which would allow to decrease the shipment period of cargo containers within the framework of transit transport. Synchronization of their work on unification of tariffs and customs procedures at the relevant entities is a sign of this. During the latest visit of the President of Iran to Astana, a joint enterprise was established by Kazakhstan Timir Joly and Iran's logistics and transport company. Also, a decrease in the shipment period of Kazakhstan's goods from 10 days to 4 days is being considered. Last year, in comparison with 2015, trade turnover between Iran and Kazakhstan increased by 15% and amounted to $600 million. However, in comparison with 2014, when trade turnover reached $1 billion, last year's figure is much lower. On Kazakhstan's side, the trade balance is positive. We export more than we import. However, it should be noted that the range of exported products leaves much to be desired. These exported products are mostly metal and grains. Our goal is to expand this range and increase the volume of our exports. What's more, at the moment, the conditions are favorable in terms of logistics. The list of exported products may be expanded by including oilseeds, halal meat, and electric transformers. In either case, these were the products for which Kazakhstan reached an agreement. In addition, Iran's side is interested in cooperating with Kazakhstan in sectors such as the chemical industry, metallurgy, and green energy.
We established a center for cooperation in the field of new technologies. Based on this agreement, we have more than 30 projects, and fortunately, a few of them now are implemented, and we do hope in the future the remaining agreements will come to force. At the same time, because of the Expo 2017 in Astana, we do expect participation of Iranian companies, and Expo will be a new opportunity for Iran and Kazakhstan to find new fields of cooperation in the field of new energy and also new technologies.
Investments attracted by both countries can also be considered as a window for new opportunities of development of trade and economic ties, especially since the specifically created internet platform Zudel has already been launched. Its format allows business communities to get access to a great range of services, from an extensive database of enterprises to information on their business reputations. This platform is already working in Iran. Kazakhstan has also joined it. Soon the services of the Zudel platform will be available in Azerbaijan and Uzbekistan.
But the most difficult thing is the different law that you have in this region, and the people need to know how the system works, okay? What they are authorized to do. For example, the license. When you want to import, for example, in Kazakhstan, you have a lot of law. Because we have a connection with the other country too, but we have less than what we have in Iran. It means that we are for all secret.
A number of bilateral documents have been signed by Kazakhstan and Iran, which stipulate partnership in the spheres such as investments, logistics, banking operations, and realization of industrial projects. The agreements signed were in a total amount of around $1 billion. A straight line is always the shortest path between 2 points. This is precisely the line that was chosen by Iran and Kazakhstan for their trade and economic relations. This can be seen on the level of activity and content of discussions of the dialogue platform, which was formed within the framework of business meetings. The discussions between relevant entities and business communities of both countries are becoming more concrete and focused, and this promises real joint projects in the prospective future. Maria Kuznetsova, Anatoly Valuysky, exclusively for Single Market. The resource curse can and should be avoided. What's more, resources can lay the foundation for sustainable economic growth, because there's always the possibility of producing goods with high value added. Today, Kazakhstan is facing a task to organize advanced processing of the country's mineral resources. What's more, there are already exemplary scenarios of how to resolve this. Kaspi Bitum. A number of arguments can be made in favor of this project. First of all, this is wide-scale construction of roads which has spread across Kazakhstan. Second of all, close access to raw materials needed for the production of bitumen. And thirdly, this is strengthening of ties with China. Kaspi Bitum is the first modern petrochemical complex which produces modified bitumen on an industrial scale. The plant was built with participation of China's capital. 50% of the assets are owned by the national company Kazmunai Gas, the rest to a Chinese enterprise CITIC Limited. Initially, this complex was envisioned for a concrete oil deposit field in Kazakhstan. The complex has been set up for the Karajambas deposit field. This means that from 1 million tons we obtain 14,000 tons of bitumen, 600,000 tons of light oil products. The production line of the enterprise includes 4 types of bitumen: oxygenated BMD 100 by 130, BMD 70 by 100, and modified bitumen PVV 60 and PVV 90. These bitumen grades meet all the parameters that are required in conditions of rapid temperature changes and intense transport flows. At the moment, we're in the heart of the enterprise. This is the operator room, from which the whole technological process of the enterprise is controlled. The equipment meets all the requirements of Kazakhstan standards. The modified bitumen that is manufactured at this plant is used in the construction of roads, including those that are part of international transit highways. The bitumen that we produce is mostly used in the construction of the international highway Western Europe, Western China. Nationwide roads such as Shymkent-Kozlorda, Astana-Pavlodar, Pavlodar-Temirtau, and Atarau-Aktau. The technology of obtaining bitumen with the use of polymers was developed at this enterprise while taking into account the experience of similar companies of China, Russia, and Western Europe, and the use of resources from the Karajambas deposit field, which is perfect for the production of bitumen, has allowed for an optimal correlation of quality and price. If we calculate the total length of Kazakhstan's roads, in the construction of which the bitumen of Kaspi Bitum was used, then we get a distance of a couple of thousands of kilometers. What's more, some of the highways which were reconstructed or rebuilt are part of international road networks. Oleg Boldarev, Askar Aitkenov, Aktau Almaty, exclusively for Single Market. That's all for today. My name is Pavel Koktashev. Kind reminder, all the episodes of our program are available on www.kazakh-tv.kz. Until next time on Single Market.